As ADP reported last week, it looks now that these curves, labor demand and labor supply, are coming back into balance. And for the first time in over a year, uh, equilibrium wage growth is actually starting to moderate down below 7%. So, what all of this means is that for an economy to grow in a sustainable way, which is a way that doesn't peak up inflation, we have to have a balanced labor market. And fortunately, we're starting to see that now.